And we are back. Thank you for joining us today for Tuesday School, the Sunday School extension we're doing here on YouTube. We're going to pick up where we left off last week in the middle of the creation narrative. We had covered days 1 through 4 yesterday, and now we're picking up. We had covered days 1 through 5 yesterday, and now we're picking up with day 6. So here we go. Days 1 through 5 were a lot. God had spoken an entire universe into existence, and that was only the first chapter of the book of Genesis. We get a report on days 6 and 7 in chapter 2. Here's God tweeting about how he made humankind. Day 6 was a doozy. I went deep in my bag and introduced my finest work of art. What can I say about a claymation character come to life? I had spoken to my creations, land, water, and sky, and commanded them to bring forth new things that would be dependent on them for survival. But this time, I was making a form of life that would occupy a unique place in the universe I had just pushed off my factory floor. I scooped up some dirt from the earth and shaped it. Then I spoke to myself. I said, "Self, let us make another species, called man, in our image and after our likeness." After breathing some of my essence into this new creature, I soon reasoned that because I was out here working, I ought to set man up with a job too. Man's role was to rule over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, and all the wild and domesticated animals on land. Everything from aardvarks to zebras was placed under man's dominion for him to exercise stewardship over them. At that stage, this species was all wrapped up in a singular body, but I took the time to produce a male and female of the species so that, like the plants and animals, they would be able to produce more of their kind. I performed a surgical procedure, a ribectomy, to take a part of the male that I would then use for a cloning procedure. The result? Male's counterpart, female. Man had a job. Man had a female with whom to be fruitful and multiply. He also needed a home. So I took man and put them in a garden I had planted that contained everything necessary to sustain them. I told them to take good care of the place and enjoy it, with one caveat. Help yourself to any tree in the garden except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. When you eat from that off-limits tree, it's a wrap for you. And no, I did not stutter or mumble. And with this act of creation, he didn't give himself a letter grade. He looked into the future, and in a moment of unflinching honesty, God gave this humanity project a rating of incomplete, details to follow. On to day 7, the Sabbath. At the end of day 6, I pulled down the gate on my workshop so I could go sit down somewhere. All that astrophysics, chemical, civil, electrical, and mechanical and nuclear engineering, and then multiple branches of biology, put me in the mood to relax. So I took a day off. Who was going to tell me I couldn't? A polar bear? A naked mole rat? A flamingo? I blessed the 7th day and made it holy. It will forever be a special day of rest to commemorate the day I, the Lord of Hosts, took PTO. More on this later. All right, so we've concluded the days of creation, and we have concluded the second chapter and the third chapter of, the second chapter of Genesis. Stay tuned on Wednesday for what comes next, which is the fall of man. And I look forward to you joining me tomorrow. And we'll pick up there and we'll talk about how everything got messed up and sin came into the world. All right, folks, y'all have a wonderful day. Take care. Love y'all. Peace.